My broker has been removed from MT4 or MT5. What do I do next, right? So that, of course, is the question that's going on in the Forex industry currently at this moment. You may have seen it in your Telegram chats, your Discord chats, or even just like even Facebook groups or anything like that. The Forex world is kind of like lost right now, especially if you're based in the US, right? So if you're based in the US, you are experiencing a lot of caution, concern, questions that you may or may have. So I'm going to be going over the who, what, why, and answer all your potential questions in this video to help you get some better insight, right? Because I've done my own personal research, but I want you guys to understand that this is not financial advice. This is simply my opinion based off of how I've seen and what I've read, so forth and so on, right? So why are all these brokers being removed from MetaQuotes, MT4, MT5, right? So if you are a US based client, what has been happening is MetaQuotes, which is the operating platform that we use to place our trades. If you came into trading, you pretty much understand, like, okay, you downloaded a MT4, MT5, and then you made a demo account, made a live account, so forth and so on, and then you place your trades, and that's pretty much how you learned how to trade, right? Now, the why behind it is because Metatrader, MetaQuotes, have been removing any white label brokers or unlicensed brokers that are not regulated by the NFA inside of the United States, right? So the NFA stands for the National Futures Association, right? So the National Futures Association has very strict regulations, right? And with MetaQuotes was pretty much getting a lot of scrutiny or a lot of backlash for allowing these different platforms, and a lot of different stuff was going on in the back end, right? So you can imagine people, losing money to offshore brokers, or even laundering money, so forth and so on. So there's a lot of different reasons why the NFA stepped in and said, like, hey, MetaQuotes, you have to get rid of all these brokers if they're US based clients, right? So anytime that, or any broker that is considered a white label broker, or just quote unquote regulated but is not regulated in the United States, it got removed, right? So if you're being on Instagram or all these social media and you see somebody's promoting a regulated broker, it's simply not a regulated broker if it is not regulated in the United States and it does not have a NFA certificate, right? So it's not certified by the NFA. It can be regulated in Australia, it can be regulated in Europe, it can be regulated in all these different countries, but if it is not regulated in the US, simply it got removed by MetaQuotes, or it will be removed here in the future, right? So a lot of people have been asking, like, okay, like, what should I do next, right? So that's one of the things where, like, I can't give you that financial advice, but I can give you my opinion. So what I want to break down is understanding, like, what is an offshore broker, what is a white label broker, so forth and so on. So, like, you guys see me promote on my channel all the time, Hankotrade. I used to use KOT Forex. When I very first started, I used to use Hugosway. So all three of those are offshore brokers, white label brokers, so forth and so on. So the reason why people use these offshore brokers is because we have a higher leverage, right? So you have a leverage of up to potential 1 to 500, even up to 1 to 1,000. So that allows you to take smaller amounts of capital and trade as if you had a much larger capital account, right? So that's what drew people into understanding, like, okay, I want to use this broker because it'll allow me to, one, trade with higher leverage, and then two, it will allow you to trade pairs like gold. It'll allow you to trade indices, which is like US 30, NAS 100, because on a US regulated broker, you simply cannot trade indices, you cannot trade gold, you cannot trade any of these things simply on a regulated US broker, right? You will have to trade futures, and futures are completely different platform, different type of trading than the normal, like, offshore quote unquote Forex trading. So you will have to go into like a whole different platform to trade futures, right? So understanding that, that's why people would potentially use offshore brokers, right? And then also Of course, you could, like I said, take small amounts of capital and flip them to higher, larger amounts with those increased leverage, right? But with that being said, those offshore brokers don't have NFA regulations, right? I mean, they don't have, those offshore brokers do not have NFA certifications to say that they are allowed to have US based clients inside of the United States. So if they did not have those US, that certification inside of the United States, they simply can't have US based clients anymore. And that's why Metaquotes removed them simply from their platform, right? Now, what I want you to understand is Metaquotes is simply just a platform that everybody used to learn Forex on, right? So there are alternatives that you can use going forward. Like Forex is not dead. Forex is not about to end. Forex is not simply about to like disappear. Simply, we have to take the initiative to understand that Metaquotes was a platform, and we have to use a different platform if we want to go with regulated, unregulated brokers, so forth and so on. So what I want you guys to understand also is that when you trade on US broker, these are the quote unquote disadvantages of using a US broker, right? So US broker will have 1 to 50 leverage max, right? So you can't use like smaller amounts of capitals to flip them to larger amounts. Like I said, you cannot trade gold, indices, so forth and so on. Everything that you do on a US broker is simply reported, because like it is like just like having a job, like taxes on all of those different things are reported to the government, and it's all regulated. That quote, that's where it comes from, like regulated. So everything is being taken note of, right? So understanding that, it's like, okay, you're not able to take advantage as you would as an offshore broker. So 1 to 50 leverage, can't trade indices, and you have a lot more regulations that's going on with your overall trading, right? So those are reasons why people kind of steer away from US brokers, right? But you still can use US brokers. Now, one thing I want to give you guys as well is solutions. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is not financial advice. However, this is my personal opinion, right? So, number one solution, you're open to trying new platforms. So within these offshore brokers or these white label brokers, they have now created their own platforms, or they have migrated to newer platforms. So the broker that I currently use is Hankotrade. Hankotrade has migrated over to a platform called Trader, right? So Trader has been a platform that's been around since the early 2000s. I've done my research. They've been around, you know, it's a reputable platform. However, it's just not what we're used to, right? We're used to trading on MT4, MT5. So the solution to that is you will have to learn a brand new platform. So whether that is understanding how that platform works, what are the benefits, the overall functionality of that platform, placing trades on that platform, understanding how to get out of trades on that platform, and just migrating, you know, just understanding the overall structure of that platform. You will have to begin to learn new things, right? So I know, like, even KOT, they migrated to a new platform that they just made called Trade Locker. So with all new platforms, there will be bugs, there will be things that you will have to look out for. So you have to do your due diligence and ask yourself, like, okay, is it necessarily worth the risk to put your capital into a brand new platform that may experience bugs, a beta time frame, so forth and so on, and just understanding the risks that come in with one, putting your money into offshore broker, and two, understanding that these different platforms will have to go through like a beta phase, or they will go through that phase where like everything's not working 100% simply because it's brand new, right? Now, the second solution will be to research different prop firms, right? So the prop firm industry isn't the hottest right now after my Forex funds got shut down, but there still are reputable prop firms that you can reach out to or do your research on to see if they were going to stay on Metaquotes or MT4, MT5. So reputable prop firm industries are like FTMO. That's pretty much the only one that I can say that's been been around for a long time that I know has had like payouts, and they don't really cheat people, so forth and so on. So that's another alternative, is that you can go and trade on a prop firm, and then that way you're not putting, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 worth of your capital into a offshore broker, for instance, and then worry about your money not being there. If you trade on a platform, a prop firm, you simply might spend $500 to $1,000 on $100 to $200,000 account. And even though I'm not a fan of prop firms right now, that might be the only solution that kind of makes the most sense with the least amount of risk, right? So if you do decide to go to a prop firm, you will have to understand, like, you will have to follow all of those rules. It's not in your favor. You don't have the, you know, ability to flip accounts similar to how you do on a smaller, not a smaller, offshore brokers such as 1 to 500 leverage like KOT or Hankotrade, so forth and so on. So there has their benefits and their disadvantages as well, right? Now, solution number 3 will be switching over to a US broker. So a US broker would be like Oanda, Forex.com, so forth and so on, like those different type of brokers that are regulated inside of the United States, that are approved by the NFA. That's the probably the most important thing, is understanding that the broker that you choose that's a US broker has to be regulated by the NFA. It can't just be regulated by the FCA or the European, whatever the Europe regulation is called. It can't be regulated by those. It has to be regulated by a US, the NFA, the National Futures Association, which is associated with the United States, right? So you have to do your due diligence and do your research to make sure that that broker is actually regulated inside the United States. Now, the way that things been cracking down, most brokers that are regulated inside other countries like Australia or Europe, those brokers probably won't accept US clients from the get-go, right? So if you go to sign up and then you say you're a US based client, they typically won't accept you as a client. So just do your due diligence and research what it is that you are looking for. If you're a US based client, then you have to look for that NFA certification, right? Now, me going forward, I have to do some deciding, of course. I don't know what's next. And the good and the bad thing about this is that it's December, so that it's kind of by Christmas time, so it's not a lot of trading a lot of trading involved on my end, simply because it's about to be the holidays and I just want to take, you know, a couple weeks off for trading. However, it's important that you understand and be open and have an open mindset to new things, right? So one thing that I can say is that I'm open to using a different platform if it's necessary, right? If I feel that it's necessary, that, okay, I should put my money into this platform and begin to learn new things, okay, that's cool. Because just how I learned how to use Metatrader 4 or Metatrader 5, I can learn how to use ActTrader, I can learn how to use TradeLocker, I can learn how to use all of these different things and still be functional, still be consistently profitable, and still make money as a trader. So it's just one of those things where it all boils down to personal preference, and you have to do your due diligence, right? So let me know in the comment section what you plan on doing. If you're looking to switch to a US based broker, if you're looking to switch over to a different platform, or you're going to prop firms, what are you doing? And let me know if this video was helpful. So make sure you guys smash that like button, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.